So should I make it an isekai, or should I just have the character in the fantasy world?
Hey, Yash, what are you doing?
If you must know, I'm trying to write my own fantasy story. I've seen enough Reincarnated as a slime, as well as reviewing of solo farming in the tower to get a good idea of what is the best possibilities for a fantasy-style story.
So you're gonna make it your own isekai, you're saying?
Well, I'm debating whether or not I should just have the guy in this world.
What you gonna call it?
Well, I was thinking... story that actually makes sense.
That's boring.
You're boring!
What, take you an eternity to come up with that?
Let's just get on with the review. This is Reincarnated as a Slime, episode 6. So the episode begins in the Kingdom of Bloomin, where we go into the Adventurers Guild. We see the chief of the Adventurers Guild talking to the Idiot Trio. Remember these guys? They're the adventurers that let Rimuru out of the cave by mistake. So pretty much everything that happens this point forward is indirectly their fault. And here we actually get some names to the faces. But I think it's easier for everyone if I just refer to them as the Idiot Trio, because that's kind of their whole identities. And they're also kind of doing all the bitch work, as they just got back after exploring the cave where Valdora was, and confirmed that he is no longer there. But the guild master cracks the whip, saying that they only got a few days off before sending them back into the forest of Jura in order to investigate the surrounding forest to gauge the situation there. And they find it entirely unfair. Well, the would-be adventurers complain about it, but unfortunately they have no choice but to suck things up because, well, they're the low men on the totem pole. But they get a surprise guest. A mysterious woman in white wearing a white mask is interested in joining their party on their little excursion because she's going that way anyway. So, without questioning things, they allowed the poor girl to join their little crew. Though it's clear just by her outfit, she's not really on their level.
Rehash, you're barely paying attention. Come on, this is our job.
Well, I'm busy drawing out a sketch of what I want our main hero to look like.
Okay, I gotta see this.
No, it's not done yet.
No, let me see. No,
fine. Here, happy now? Concept art.
It's not that bad. Wait, I kinda like the dog outfit. Oh, that's what you could call him! The Dog Knight!
I am not calling him the Dog Knight.
No, that could be like his slogan. He's the Dog Knight.
Stop it! Well, the story cuts back to Rimuru as he's hanging out with Ranga. Rimuru does a little dance to transform into his giant wolf form and bing bong, hello! Oh, I forgot it looks like that.
When exactly did he turn into Giga Chad Double Horn Super Wolf?
I know, that's what I was asking. His original form didn't look anything like this. And on top of that, he's firing Kamehamehas.
It might say Black Lightning, but that is a rose black Kamehameha if I ever saw one.
Thank you. And after causing maximum damage, he decides to put Black Lightning Kamehameha on a bit of a down low, in case of emergencies. So after a while, Rimuru and Ranga head back to the little goblin village, which is no longer a very little goblin village. Much has changed since Rimuru had returned to it. Kaijin and the rest of the dwarves have been put immediately to work in building houses, creating jobs, teaching skills, and the goblins are eating it all up, nom 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 nom, turning that little spot of dirt that they called home into a small, thriving, yet very primitive community. But when one door closes, another one opens, as Rigurd has introduced the little goblin village to 500 new goblin residences. Apparently, they heard that this particular village was under protection of a very powerful monster, so they come to join. Rimuru was not thrilled, but the great sage informed Rimuru that if he didn't take them in, the odds of these goblins' survival were slim to zilch. So, under threat of them being in a monster belly, and Rimuru feeling bad, he not only allowed them all to come to the village, but he also named all 500, which caused him to go into another perma-sleep for another 3 days.
Why does he do this? They don't care about names.
Well, they do care about names, but it's more for their own power-ups than actually being named.
I'm telling you, Dog Knight will catch.
Could we at least call him Wolf Knight, or, Jackal Knight?
I mean, Jackal Knight's not bad, but Dog Knight, well, it just rolls off the tongue a lot easier.
Okay, maybe just stop focusing on the hero. What do you think of my little fairy companion?
What's her purpose?
I don't know, I just thought I'd draw a cute fairy.
Well, you can't put a character in there without them serving some kind of purpose.
Well, what do you recommend?
I don't know, spirit guide? Faithful companion? Comic relief? Something. Just as long as they don't serve purpose for just fan service.
Have you seen the size I drew her chest? There is no fan service there. So Rimuru is just chillaxing in his village and... Oh, Gobta! I completely forgot you existed. And apparently so did everybody else, because last I remember, you were locked up in a Dwargon prison. How the hell did you get out?
Well, it's pretty easy when you have the ability to special summon wolves whenever you want.
Oh, wow, that's actually kind of impressive. Wolf spamming abilities. Apparently, while Gobta was tied up in the Dwargon prison completely forgotten about, he managed to unlock a new skill that allowed him to summon his direwolf. And in exchange, he was able to escape and run like hell back to the village. And now he's teaching the other goblins to do the same. Actually, this is a pretty useful looking skill, honestly. Just being able to summon your tamed animal whenever you want.
Was Gobta secretly a sleeper badass this entire time?
Well, only time will tell. Speaking of which, here's Rigard, who had recently been promoted from Goblin Lord to Goblin King with all the new arrivals, and that has once again affected his physique. But he's still under Rimuru's head, and he informs Rimuru that they've spotted a group of adventurers invading the Forest of Juron near them, and they're wondering what he should want done. So Rimuru decides to investigate himself. And it's the idiot trio! And friend. Yeah, apparently they took on an entire ant colony of giant ants. And now they're running for their lives.
Yeah, typical adventure, low-level stuff.
I don't think it's the monsters so much as how many of them there are. Have you ever seen just one ant?
Well, I see one badass. As the mysterious woman in white is lighting up her flame sword and is just hacking and slashing all of the ants all by herself.
A one-man wrecking crew. I think the appropriate term is what happens when you're a level 20 D&D player going back to the starting town and getting ambushed. You're pretty much bullying the NPC monster fighters. Well, after dispatching all of the monsters, she realizes she's only dispatched most of the monsters as one ant tried to try its luck. And apparently it rolled a nat 20.
Yeah, the D&D puns are mine. Well, she definitely looks like she lost consciousness and something is wrong. And the ant takes the opportunity to attack. And then Black Lightning shows up. No, it was Rimuru, who just decided to come and give them a hand. And he hands the girl back her mask, only to discover that the girl is the one he's meant to be with for all eternity.
Well, this is certainly a surprise. I didn't expect to see her to show up so soon, especially after just introducing her in the last arc.
Do you really call that last arc an arc?
Well, what else would you call it? I mean, we had the Death into the Slime arc, we had the Valdora arc, we had the Goblin and Wolves arc, we had the Dwarf Kingdom arc, and now we have the Human Love Interest arc.
But they were only like 2 or 3 episodes each.
Yeah, this series is going remarkably fast. So, Rimuru invites the idiot trio and the woman back to his village as their honored guests. And, yeah, they take full advantage of the hospitality. Rimuru does recognize them, but this new woman is still a mystery, even though Rimuru knows that they're going to be ending up together. Rigurd introduces Rimuru as the head of the village, and at first it does seem like they don't believe him. So, Rimuru decides to quote a video game. I think he's quoting Dragon Quest, actually.
That Dragon Quest?
Yeah. I'm a good slime, slurp. I'm pretty sure that's a Dragon Quest quote. It took me forever to try to figure that out.
Yeah, it's kind of just under the radar for anybody who's not a Dragon Quest fan.
Well, anyway, despite me having to do the hard labor of trying to figure it out, it seems the mystery woman recognizes the quote right away, which definitely sets off a flag. That means one thing. This quote came from our world. So, this woman should not know about it unless she is from our world. Rimuru has figured it out. She is an Iseki like him!
So I guess the series is gonna have 2 overpowered Iseki protagonists.
I guess so. I mean, I guess it's not completely unheard of. But, yeah, I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Why am I getting all those silent stares from my audience? So, after gaining the idiot trio and our mystery woman, who is now identified as Shizu, the trust, they inform Rimuru that they were commissioned by their Adventurers Guild to inspect the ongoings of this village to see if it's actually a threat and needs to be exterminated. Rimuru, however, insists that they are not a threat and that they're just trying to live a more comfortable and easier life. And he's willing to give them full reign of the village and all of its resources in order to prove otherwise. So they take full advantage of this, and they spend the entire day relaxing in what little resources that Rimuru has, including taking advantage of the blacksmith shop. We later cut to later on in the day, and Rimuru joins Shizu on a hill, where both of them confess to each other that both of them are Isekis.
Yep, Iseki protagonist meetup. That's what this world is, I guess.
Well, I suppose, but this is the first one we've actually seen outside of Rimuru. And she reveals that she's been here for a long time. A long time. She was present during the World War II bombings. Time.
Holy shit, she really keeps up with her appearance, doesn't she?
Oh, most certainly she does. I mean, despite being well over 60 years old by this point, she's looking fine. And Rimuru and her form a bit of a nice bond. And Rimuru allows her to access some of his memories in order to give her a special glimpse into what Japan is now versus how she left it. After a bit of a mishap with a porno elf game on Rimuru's half. Yes, I guess we've officially noticed.
Rimuru definitely has an elf fetish. I'm gonna write that down.
Definitely write that down. Elf fetish weakness. So, Rimuru shows Shizu all the wonders that Japan had gone through over the years, and she is in awe. She even cries a little. And thus, if there was any amount of riz this little slime might have had, it is definitely here. Hook, line, and sinker. Before Kaijin comes to Rimuru and says, "Oh, I need you for something in the village, could you come by?" As well as teasing Rimuru man to man. "Oh, you're definitely gonna get laid tonight, little slime." And so Shizu stays on the hill, though the mysteries of her past are still apparent. And it seems that even though the episode should be over, we cut to a quick flashback of the little girl in the flames and oh my god, it's her!
What? You couldn't figure that out? Bombing raids, fire powers, and the fact that she's an adult? You didn't figure that out? I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Besides, we don't know how long it's been.
So I guess Shizu is this little girl, and we see her actually get transported. Apparently she was actually summoned here by this blonde fruit tart, who calls her a failure and just kind of walks off. But not before possessing her with the incarnation of Satan. What the fuck is that? So I guess Shizu is possessed by a devil. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And that was Reincarnated as a Slime, episode 6.
These episodes just keep going by so quickly.
I know, it feels like it's not taking its time at all, and yet I'm absorbing so much detail. I don't know how it's doing this. I've never seen a story do this before. It's crazy. It makes no sense, but I love it.
And on top of that, with the Shizu cliffhanger.
Yes, perhaps that demon inside of her is going to be the instrument of how that separates Rimuru from his beloved.
Wait, you think that's going to happen?
Well, of course it's going to happen. Why would the main protagonist be with his love interest at the very beginning of the series? There's no drama in that. There has to be something that separates them.
Yeah, but Rimuru is resistant to fire, right? He could just take on that demon by itself.
I suppose, but maybe there's some secrets to that demon that we don't know yet. Anyway, I can't wait to see what's next. So, until next time, I'm Rehash, the stirrer of chaos, and we'll see you next time. Now, about my dog hero.
See, I told you it would stick.
No, it will not! No, I'm actually being 100% serious about this. I am working on a short Isekai-style story. Or maybe just a fantasy story. I haven't decided yet.
I would definitely go for just a fantasy story. There's too many Isekai anime in general.
I suppose. Anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments below.